Connect, Discover, Engage, Student Life at New Mexico State University. I'm Fred Martino, and I am so pleased to have with us today Dr. Ann Goodman, the Dean of Students at NMSU. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
So for folks who aren't familiar, tell us about your role as Dean of Students, what a Dean of Students does.
Sure. It's not quite what I think people see in the movies. I do have a wide portfolio of things that I'm responsible for, units and everything, but I see myself as the ultimate student success cheerleader. I am here to make sure that students find a place to connect, discover, and engage what they're going to do as an Aggie here at NMSU. I have a wide range of things that I work with, everything from student wellness and our student health and counseling services, everything including disability access services and our student support services with emergency funding and Aggie Covered and whatnot, but also the student involvement element, which is so critically important to that feeling of belonging. So again, I'm the cheerleader, the connector, the person that puts out the information about here's how and what you could be involved in. So that's kind of what I see myself as opposed to what's sometimes portrayed in the movies as the mean dean. I do have student conduct that falls under that, but that's not my primary mission in life.
Well, let's get to some of the success stories. Let you be that cheerleader, sure. And we should say at the outset we can't go over everything because that would be the entire interview. But I want to talk about some of the success stories over the last year.
Sure, I think this year has been so exciting because we've seen some new, fresh programs come about through our student involvement area. I want to focus there first because I think that is so critical to the retention of our students, is them feeling connected, and we've had some real exciting success just recently with more and more students being engaged in student organizations. One of our offices is responsible for the recognition of student organizations, and we've seen those grow past 200. So we have over 200 opportunities for students to find their niche, find their place. We've seen a huge growth in our fraternity and sorority life community, and the engagement of our students to really build and grow their community, to include the addition of 2 Divine Nine groups, which are the historically African-American fraternities and sororities. We're making some headway with regards to some returning fraternity chapters. And we're up over 700 members in the fraternity and sorority life community. But not only that, when they connect there, that means they're also engaging in other activities, whether it's ASNMSU or their college councils or the United Nations group that goes and competes.
Model UN.
Yes, the Model UN. And so there's so many things, but if they're connected, they're more apt to get to stay connected and continue to engage. And so I think that would be one of the highlights. The other is really the addressing the mental health and wellness element of our students' experience. And the addition of our virtual online options for medical and mental health and well-being through Timely Care has given us another avenue for students to reach out. The one that, rarely do incidents and problems happen Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And so that virtual Timely Care option allows for students who are either here and they can't go in for service, or somebody who's out of town, and they can connect online.
Yeah, Timely Care, really a great option as well for physical illness in addition to mental health
Absolutely. I've
issues.
used it several times
Yeah, yeah.
myself. It has, the average time for waiting on a physician to be seen, and it is, I think it was around 7 minutes. And the average time to actually talk with somebody, a counselor, was somewhere in that 7 to 9 minutes.
Mhm.
So if you need to talk with somebody, at the very least, you can be seen.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about some of the major challenges in higher
Mm-hmm.
education right
Mm-hmm.
now.
I think it's trying to connect with other individuals. I think that connection piece and how students can find mechanisms to do that. I think meeting students where they are with regards to their mental health and wellness is a significant piece. And I think that goes for the traditional students who are graduating and coming to us straight from high school, um, all the way to those students who are returning back to school who may have come, stopped out, gone into business, and want to come back either online or in person. I think it's us being flexible to meet their needs and meet them where they are. And that is a challenge for higher ed, just because of the diversity of their needs. We know that in order for students to be successful, they have to be connected. They have to feel a sense of belonging. And I think that is even more so with an online program. And
Mm-hmm.
so, how are we doing that? The other thing that I would say is the challenge is how do we incorporate AI into this concept of higher education? It's not going away. And we need more people to be able to use it for good. We need them to understand how to utilize it for innovation, for innovation. And so that's a challenge I think that we're going to see because of the old school. Well, if you ask somebody and they give you the answer, then that's cheating. But I think it speaks to how we learn now. It's not about going to find the answer. It's how do I seek out answers for questions and critically think about how do I find solutions. So those are the biggest challenges I think we see.
Yeah. And I want to follow up on something that you just said about giving all students that sense of belonging.
Mm-hmm.
I've been so impressed working in student life at the many ways that we do that. And of course, we know retention, a major goal for universities. And when students become engaged, they're more likely to graduate. So let's talk about how student life furthers that work.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it happens in a myriad of encounters that students have. Student life is a broad term that we use to describe the environment or to talk about what we would like to see our students being a part of. It's the life, that energy on campus, or in the classroom. So a lot of our activities, to include the traditions that we are, I would say, not the keepers of tradition, but we are the shepherds of some of the campus traditions, like first year walk, first year photo, homecoming, keep state great, obviously the bonfires and the parades, and then the graduation rings. Trying to maintain some of those special traditions, but if you think about tradition, that also speaks to our connectedness with others. And by virtue of them participating in those things, then they're more likely to connect with other Aggies, with a sense of community. Um, so I think that that's a really important part that we miss. It's not just about going to a traditional activity, it's about the connection that you feel when you're there. I also think that it's really important for us to acknowledge our land grant mission and who we're connecting with through our extension programs, our online programs. And these organizations that we support also are doing those similar things. And so our connection with 4-H groups, our connection with sport clubs, and what they're trying to do, that those are all pivotal pieces of student life.
How did you become interested in making student life a career?
Um, my student life experience, of course, I am an Aggie. I have 2 degrees from New Mexico State, and I am doing this job solely because I was involved as a student here at NMSU. I was a student athlete, but I found that I wanted to be more connected to student life. Joined a sorority. Um, had an encounter with an advisor who I said, I think you could hold a leadership position. And I thought, I've never wanted to be a leader, but okay. And it was a lot of those types of opportunities that built my confidence. And then when it came to graduation, I was like, well, I would love to continue to work with students to help them have this same type of epiphany or connection point, that builds their confidence,
Yeah.
that positions them to go into whatever industry or whatever profession they want to go into. And so it was really a motivational piece. And ever since then, I've just loved working with the college age student, both traditional and non-traditional students, because they're trying to find something to enhance their lives, to make meaning of what it is they want to do. I think a couple of things. One is, it's a scary thing to go into a new environment, whether you're a new incoming student right out of high school or you're an adult. It does not matter. Making a new place in a new community is always scary. And so the advice I give to new students is keep your eyes wide open and lean into this new opportunity to experience new things, to listen to new ideas and concepts, and recognize that you can start fresh. And so leaning into those opportunities. The other is, being open to the resources and support services that exist. You don't have to know it all. We have help, we have support services, our tutoring centers, our student success center, our financial literacy program, something that's really important. I wish I had had when I was, coming up as a student, is take advantage of those and ask for help. Don't just rely on AI. Actually, go talk to a tutor or set up something. The other is take advantage of the experience, the life of a student. Get involved, engage, and don't just focus on the academic element, because our employers, people who are going to be looking for Aggies to come work for them, want people with confidence, with the soft skills, people who really embrace our Aggie values, leadership, whatever that might look like in terms of their ability to influence others, work in groups, network, mentor. So you can't do any of those things or learn those things by just reading them in a book. You have to experience them. So engaging in student organizations like the Roundup or ASNMSU, or being a DJ, even if that's a part of your goal, we have those opportunities. So getting involved and engaging, don't just sit back and take it all in as a student. Now, I also want to throw in, working as a student employee is very much the same as being engaged in a student organization. And I want to recognize some students don't have the ability to not work. So really taking advantage of some of our employment opportunities, both on campus, but the internships, working with faculty to identify internship opportunities or experiential study abroad opportunities, those are just as important. So I want to be clear. When I say get involved, it's not just with the traditional student organization, it's also getting involved in the opportunity to grow
Yeah.
before you graduate.
And there are so many opportunities here. We are very fortunate in that.
Absolutely.
Dr. Ann Goodman. Dr. Goodman, thank you so much for being with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I hope that we have the opportunity to talk again, maybe about some of our successes in the future.
Absolutely.